Oh my gosh, we're back and it hasn't even been a month yet? I'm just as surprised as you are right now. Look, I understand that it usually takes me like a month to get these videos out. We're trying to change that right now, or I work by myself. So hopefully you guys can look forward to more videos coming out faster, so that way you guys aren't like watching like, I don't know, Mr. Beast or something. You're gonna watch a well-produced video instead of my videos. Anyway, let's just get into the video. We're talking about the Abyss. More specifically, we're talking about the intro to Abyss as opposed to the bunker itself. And this is because Evan makes a really odd request upon asking for the contents of that floppy disk drive from the copy flash clerk. He asked for a map of Miami. Now, at first this doesn't seem very odd, and of course the copy flash clerk is not very helpful and tells us to go somewhere else to get it. But when you think about it, this doesn't make sense at all. Why would Evan need a map when he gets a taxi? I'd hope the taxi guy knows where he's going. I'm assuming he has his own map. But then I started to think, it's possible that Evan needed this map to do research on the Miami Maniac. This is due to the fact that, at this point, Evan has a bunch of addresses he collected over the course of studying him. So it's possible that at this point, Evan might need a map to help him make sense of everything he's found. This made me sad, because if Evan needs a map to help him find out information about what happened in 1989, how the hell are we gonna find out what happened if we don't have a map of Miami? It's gonna be much harder for us to find the truth if Evan can't find the truth without it, so it made me really sad. But that was until I found one. But it's not as good as you might think. Let me explain. In Death Wish, when you play as Alex and Ash, when you get towards the end of the level, you'll see this weird maze-like structure. It's like a weird cream color. I can't really explain what kind of color it is, but it's there. Now when I saw it, I had a pretty good idea of what it was. But to confirm, I went to the level editor, and if you don't know, the level editor is where you make levels, and you can search for the asset you want by searching up the name of the asset. This is much harder, of course, if you don't know the name of the asset, but in this case I have a good idea of what it was, so what I did is I typed in the name Miami, and guess what came up? We have a fancy office Miami model. This is a model of Miami. This can help us figure out where each location is relative to each other, and perhaps maybe we'll find some answers based on their locations. Now, if you're expecting me to know where some of these locations are right now, I have no idea. But what greater way of getting the community involved in theory crafting for Hotline Miami than this map? I mean, usually it's just me throwing information at you and hoping you agree with me. This time, you guys get to make your own theories, and we'll get to see eventually which one is right, or if this map mattered at all. Now, before I end the video and let you guys start assigning addresses to locations on the map, I wanted to give you some pointers so you're not leading yourself astray. Look at the 3D renditions of levels we play in Hotline Miami 1. The shape of these models might help you find where they are on the map. Just keep in mind that some of the locations we go to in the first game are not showing the entire location. If you see a door next to a wall that leads to nowhere, assume the building is bigger than what's being shown. Also keep in mind that this model might be showing us only the skyline of Miami and not smaller buildings. I don't know if that's going to help you very much, but we'll see. Another thing to consider is that Mark mentions that they were going to jump across to another building after they were done killing Russians in the headquarters. We might have to look for two buildings on this map that are right next to each other that they can actually jump across to. But keep in mind that Mark does express concern about how big the gap is between the two buildings, so it's entirely possible that the gap is bigger than what we might think, so you never know. The last thing I want you to keep in mind is that the first page of the first volume of the Hotline Miami comics gives us a view from the balcony that Jacket is on. We can also see the sun setting, which establishes a sense of direction for us as long as we can establish where Grandfather's mansion is on the model. This is because the sun sets west, and I know the sun is setting because the news reporter says it's evening in the comics. From the balcony, we can see a line of trees that appear before the ocean. Further down, we see more of the city. If you look at one of the transitions between scenes we get in Hotline Miami 2, you'll notice it shows us a line of trees, the ocean, part of the city, and the sun right behind it. And look, it's setting. This tells us that the sun does set in this direction, meaning it's still possible to establish some sense of direction as long as we can find out where Grandfather's mansion is. With that said, I wish you luck in finding out which location is on the map and which ones aren't, if any of them are. And I guess this is where I begin the outro. If you know anyone who would just love to know that there's a map of Miami in Hotline Miami 2, send them to youtube.com/@-yaster. Thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to follow me on Twitch, Twitter, and also subscribe to me on YouTube as well. Like the video if you liked it, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. I'll see you bastards later.